We're gonna tell me about yourself. Okay. Grace, tell me about yourself.
Hi. Okay, I'm Grace Anganatani. I'm a computer engineering major at the University of Texas. I'm from Round Rock. I've been in the Austin area my whole life, and I love it. I've always been super passionate about graphic design and using that with computer engineering and being able to use that skill that I developed and then take it and grow it with my computer engineering major. So yeah.
Awesome. Why did you choose to become an engineer, and what makes you enthusiastic about the tech core or type of engineering that you were focusing on?
So in high school, I we had to choose like an academic track, and I ended up getting put in graphic design, and it was something I wasn't really expecting, but I ended up doing it for 4 years, and I loved it. And I just, always knew that when I went to college, I would be an engineer. So I was trying to figure out like what was the best kind of engineering that would take me into a place where I could use my graphic design. And so I ended up choosing computer engineering, and like once I got here and started taking classes, I realized that the same kind of visual problem solving that I did with graphic design is the same with like programming and designing applications, and I just it kind of all clicked for me, and so here I am.
Awesome. I love to hear it. Tell me about a time you faced an ethical dilemma at work or in school, and how did you handle it?
So last summer I interned at Dell Technologies, and I was doing a project that basically was developing like a benchmark suite for all the Dell laptops, and a big part of that was taking algorithms that were already out there and putting them and remaking them so that Dell can use them for itself. So a big thing in like the software open source community is like licensing and like what's okay to use and what's okay not to. So like I would come across like algorithms that were like exactly what I needed to like test the component that I wanted, and I had to like make sure that it was under the right license and that I wasn't like copying code that wasn't free for me to use, and like I had to make sure that I wasn't doing anything like plagiarizing that code, and like making sure that Dell didn't come under any fire for like developing programs that used code that wasn't under the right license. And it was hard because like I had to like make sure I didn't subconsciously copy that code. And but I ended up like learning more about what I was working on, just because I spent that extra time like making sure that I understood what was going on and like writing my own programs. And so like while it was kind of hard for me to like find the right information and make sure I wasn't plagiarizing, like I did learn a lot from that opportunity.
Wow, amazing. Tell me about how you view teamwork, and what do you look for in a good teammate, and how do you function as a teammate?
So a project that I've been working on this past year is like a startup it's just a web application that is basically bringing a nice little basically bringing student organizations to nonprofits and allowing them to campaign and gather and collect donations. And so I've been working on a pretty close team of 3 people, like me and another engineering student and a business student. And so something that I've like realized I value a lot in a teammate, and something that like I've grown to become, is like very honest. And I think that it's super important, like when it comes to goals and actual things that we can accomplish, is making sure that we're honest about what we can achieve. And because it's not going to help anyone to like promise something when we don't really think it's going to happen. I think that it's super important when you're on a team to like make sure that we're all honest about our capabilities and, you know, what we can do. And I think that there's, no matter what, there's always room to like learn and grow, but like we have to make sure that we're honest about what we can and can't do in a certain amount of time. So.
Okay. Do you want me to continue on, or okay? What are your goals after graduation? What is your dream job?
So my goals after graduation are working, you know, doing something like that incorporates a little bit of graphic design and like design into like a software engineering role. So basically working for a company that maybe does web development. Like I've been looking at like Spotify and different kinds of like companies that basically take web developers who like also want to do some design. And I think that it's like I love taking like a design and like implementing it and like actually making something look good and, you know, doing all that. So working for a company that's gonna let me do like front end web development is awesome. And, you know, so yeah.
Awesome. Love to hear it. Do you have any questions for me as the employer?
Is that on there?
It's kind of on there. Have your interviewer quick question?
Ask the oddball question, the one that was on the Word document. The one that we talked about, the GPA one. Or any of them, honestly. It just surprised me.
Is your GPA reflective of your potential?
So I think that, you know, GPA is important, like classes are important, but a big thing that I've learned here at UT that isn't really measured by testing is, you know, how much you can teach yourself and like your ability to problem solve and your ability to think like an engineer. So that's something I've developed a lot. And also, you know, the past couple years I've spent investing time into like a social org that I'm in, which is Absolute Texas. And, you know, like especially last year, like I was the pledge coordinator and I spent a lot of time like revamping the process and making sure that it's like more open to everybody, turning like our paper applications into an online application, revamping the website, putting a lot of time and effort into something that I really cared about and something that, you know, I'm really passionate about. And I think that that's an important thing that I learned, you know, is working on that team, like making sure that I, you know, did my part in something that I really care about, and that's something that I want to keep doing. And so, you know, GPA is definitely important, but I think there are a lot of other skills that I've learned here at UT that are just as important.